Hey everyone, Sparks here, back for another installment of Major Minor. So, last time around we saw a lot of things happening. We ended up in Player's dungeon, met with the ridiculously proportioned Sam, we encountered Righty, helped to ensure peace between Righty, Andy, and Conrad, and then witnessed as a bunch of people really wonderful characters were killed by Riley and Player. First, Kabu went down at the hands of Riley, then Andy at the hands of also at the hands of Riley, and finally Player took down Riley himself. That last one was a surprise, but still, it was a case of losing two brilliant characters right up one after the other. And, well, who knows what'll happen next? Oh, wait, I do. Because unfortunately, this actual recording you're about to see is the other half of the recording I made last week. Sadly, due to an unfortunate placement of the actual save points, the following recording is actually just continuation from that. As such, there will be moments that clearly demonstrate that I was getting a little bit annoyed at how much I was overrunning on that episode. And there will also be a little bit of odd editing at the beginning and end. Hopefully, it won't be that much of a problem, but still, it does bother me. But without further ado, let's get to the actual episode. Oh my god, it isn't over yet. Before any of us can speak, get visitors. They enter the room from the back, as if they watched. Oh my god, it's you two. What? So this is what the revolution looks like. Pathetic. Wouldn't you agree, Nami? Yes, Doggy, I agree. They're hurt over such small losses. These men mean nothing in the grand scheme. But I'm thankful they became violent. It helped me test out my little theory. Father's been deceitful yet again. Big surprise. They stare at all of us with sly smirks. Who are these people? And why were they watching? Man, Nagi starts to walk towards me. So you're the man that father wants. I have to say, I'm surprised. I expected something different. I immediately hold out my sword. I never used it before, so I mimic what I've seen. It's the way I can defend myself against him. Don't be so stupid, Savior. I just want to get a closer look. I back up in time with his steps. There's no way I want this guy close to me. Reddy stands forward and holds out his axe, saving Kalen his defense to come to mine? Well, at least there's someone my size. But it's useless. You can't stop me. Reddy takes this as a challenge and leaps forward. I find it very hard to explain what happens next. As if she teleported. Nami blocks the way. She extends an arm and punches Righty across the room. He hits the wall with a thud and falls to the floor. He's motionless, knocked out cold. This leaves me and Kalen alone and defenseless. Thanks, my love. You were starting to get on my nerves. He continues walking towards me. I try to back up further, but I hit the wall. He grins at me, knowing I can't go anywhere. Do you have any idea what you are? Do you have any idea what's inside of you? I make eye contact with Caitlin. I can tell he wants to help, but it's pointless. Anyone who can take out Righty is just too powerful. I give up, try to run. It's useless. Nami appears by my side and pins me to the wall. Nagi holds out his sword as he approaches me. Father tried to trick us. The power they want isn't within Terra. For some reason, it's within you. Before I can even think, I'm skewered on his blade. He stabs it deep into the wall, pinning me in place. My body lights up in pain as I start to bleed out. He twists the blade inside of me, intensifying the pain. The gear on the base of his sword starts to turn. I feel myself becoming weaker. Dying. Looks like we've won the race, Nami. I didn't think it would be that easy. Anything to say before I unleash this? Here's to the future we create. Yes, to the future we create. Pushes the blade deeper, and the gear spins faster. I feel like it's draining me of my very essence. They give me such terrifying grins. I have to look away. Moments later, my vision fades into nothingness. Last thing I hear is player and comrades' cries. They weep over the family they will never see again. For on that day, they became only memories. Damn. Please let's save here so that, Oh, nope, we're still going apparently. So several months earlier, I smile as I run down the halls of the local mall. Every day that passed, my odds got even better. The puppet contest had become a worldwide phenomenon. Stocks rose and stores sold out. Everyone wanted to win. I tried not to drink too much. It was addicting. Not only the caffeine, but the prize that awaited. Everyone wanted to live a life of luxury like that. We all had worries. We just wanted to melt away. There were so many stores I could choose from. But I had a local joint that I liked to stick to. It didn't get much business, and I thought that'd help. Suppose that's something like a gambler's hope. Less used machine will pay out more, right? At least that's what I told myself every single day. Nobody had won yet. Both cans were still in the wild. I turn a few corners and end up at my favorite store. The cook greets me as usual, and I walk inside. I notice a new addition. They have TVs on the wall. Some sort of news report about the contest was airing. I really couldn't go a minute without hearing of it. It's not often the whole world unites like this. I walked a little deeper into the store. For some reason, they kept the cooler in the back. Maybe it was to tempt me with other choices first. I wonder who I'd meet if I won. I'm sure the people running the tour would be awesome. At least, I hope that was the case. Some people can be all business and no pleasure. I'm sure Clace would be great at least. He had all kinds of things on the news. He was young, and a long career ahead of himself. Let's not forget about the people behind the scenes. There were those involved that no one ever knew about. Not everyone liked the limelight after all. A slight pain starts radiating in my head. I hate headaches. I've been getting them a lot lately. I do my best to push it aside as I arrive at the cooler. When I get there, I notice they're sold out. Somebody come and buy out their supply? I quickly turn around and walk back to the clerk. It's extremely unusual that this place would sell out. I decide to talk to him and ask him what's going on. The clerk shrugs and says that they have lots. He tells me that I must have overlooked them. It's weird. I'm not the type to do that. The headache gets more intense as I stumble. I press myself against the counter for support. The clerk asks if I'm okay, and I signal that I'm fine. I look at the TV once again. The word has changed. Now they're talking about murders or something. It's a shame. That's the kind of world we live in. People were using this contest to mask our flaws. I decided to give it a shot and check the cooler again. I'm not expecting anything, so I have nothing to lose. Before I can get there, the pain returns. I take a moment to brace myself, holding onto a shelf. It gets worse, despite all of my coping techniques. I try to call out for help, but no one comes to my aid. Just like that, my body gives up. My hand slips from the shelf and I fall to the ground. My head crashes harshly against the linoleum floor. I expect to be knocked out, but that's not what happens. It's like the fall flipped a switch in my mind. It's at that moment I remember everything. Whoa. Okay, calm down. Jeez. Ugh. I immediately rush to my feet and cluster my chest. I fully expect the blade to be stabbing through my body. I pant heavily before realizing I'm fine. I still rest against the shelf, utterly confused. Why was I here? Before I won the contest? Who were those people that attacked us? What happened to everybody in that ballroom? How could I get back to help them. I'd have to win the contest, wouldn't I? This store is all sold out. I've sworn that this is where I won. To that thought, one last memory returns to me. I check my pocket. Sure enough, there it is. The replica can that Singe gave to me in our meeting. I go boldly and look back at the clerk's direction. For all intents and purposes, this was a winning can. I don't really have a choice. I'd have to use this. It's the only way I could get back and try again. Perhaps this time, things would be different. I walk back and laugh, telling the clerk he was right. He rings through the purchase, and I pay him promptly. Leave the store, certain of one single fact. This was how I won my place in Clace's World Tour. Jeez. And we've moved into Chapter 8. Huh. Can we get to a save file soon, please? I think I'm really running over. I'm jolted awake and I cry out for help. I quickly realize this was an overreaction. Pants heavily, my body uncontrollably shivers. I'm covered in a layer of sweat that feels like ice. Hey, it's okay. We're safe now. Take this. It should help you out. You must have noticed my shivering. He places a blanket on my shoulders. I wrap it around my body tightly and look up at him. I ask him what just happened, where we were. You were thrashing about in your sleep. Passed out after the bombing incident. Wasn't sure how long you'd be out. As you can see, we left the building. We're in an underground bunker now. You can rest easy. We're safe. He takes a deep breath, as if it's finally all over. Leans back in his chair, giving me a slight smile. So I was thrashing about in my sleep? Was that whole thing just a dream then? We have lots to talk about, you know. So much has happened, and all so fast. I shift my body around and rest my feet on the floor. This whole place smells stiff and uncared for. Almost like the prison Black Player's house. The events of the ballroom played back in my mind. Conrad lost Indy, and Player lost Kabu. I wish there was something I could have done. Acheron must sense the sorrow on my face. Places a paw on my shoulder and comforts me. It's okay. I know what you're feeling. We're more alike than you think. I laughed softly, instantly doubting him. I don't think he has the same weight on his shoulders. Life is full of hardships like this. One thing is the same, no matter what. We all have regrets when we overcome them. Mine would be my lack of honesty towards you and everyone here. But at the same time, it was necessary. Lack of honesty? What does he mean by that? I don't even know where to start. Please, let me finish my story. It's important that you know everything. I believe that you've met Rayo before. I believe that you've been to the Ark. These are a couple things we have in common. Those were the last things I expected him to say. I stare at him in sheer confusion, speechless. Perhaps his story goes deeper than I thought. He granted me a portion of his power, the ability to slow or stop time's flow, and with that, he gave me an objective. I was supposed to protect all of you, everyone inside the convention center. Seemed like an easy enough task, right? He gave me some opposition, someone bent on killing all of you. Maxine Armstrong. Yeah, I'm sure that you figured it out. It was the Arms heiress visiting Japan. Or should I say, my sister. My true name is Acheron Armstrong, youngest in the Armstrong family line. I've long since abandoned that name. Continues unleashing revelations, or the puzzle pieces fall into place. Things were more connected than I ever could have guessed. Rayo pitted sibling against sibling, one to protect and one to kill. The forces of life and death in our hands. He turned it into some sort of contest. If any were left standing, I would win. But if everyone died, Max was the victor. The prize was the Ark itself. It would get to rule as an immortal being. Life and death would cater to our whims. So this was a game to Max. If she won, she could undo the deaths. That and bring back our sister. I remember Rio telling me about this. He said that he wanted a worthy successor, but he never mentioned Acheron to me at all. Or was it the assumption that it was only Max? I hope that things are making more sense. That was the true nature of what happened. The truth behind the convention center. So this was all just a battle to rule over the Ark. We all got caught up in it because of my role. Rayo said he had to watch me as well as the contest. But why would Rayo want to leave the Ark? You see, he was bored and lonely. That can't be it. There has to be more to the story than we know. Either way, the battle is over. Max can't get to any of you down here. In a few hours, I will rule the Ark. He lets out a soft grin. Max relied far too much on her power. But I only ever used it twice myself. Once, to plant my resume in Jade's office. And the second time, for the evacuation. Max was extremely eager to compete with me. She took care of the previous guard. I need to enter the tour naturally. But after that, it was child's play. I know how she works better than anyone. Pushing her buttons was extremely easy. I asked him why he's so sure of his victory. If Max had the power, there was still a chance. No, there's no chance. We were playing her right from the start. She fell into our trap far too easily. Our trap? What did he mean by that? I was only open with one other person. It was Singe. He knows everything. I even told him about the Ark and our powers. We formulated a plan together. He's a genius, to say the least. That, and a very talented actor. Singe is involved now too? I feel like after this, I won't have any questions. Max planned all along to involve weapons. It was very easy for us to exploit this. Initially, Singe fought back against her. We needed Max to feel like she had power. It made it more believable when he caved. At that point, she was getting cocky. Her staff loaded the building with weapons. Everything was going her way. She went on to kill Clace, and she took care of the previous guard. That's when I entered the scene. The contest would last for one whole day. Midnight tonight will be the battle's end. It was important that we remain passive. Singe started to play a frightened role. No sudden movements, he'd say. We needed Max to believe she was winning. That's why he looks away from me before continuing. That's why we let Rocker and Keela die. It needed to look like I was failing. This made Max even more confident. Tensions rose in the convention center. Tensions that made me seem inadequate. People were fighting amongst themselves. They wanted to leave, but they couldn't. Singe was still playing his part. Max was clearly winning. It was obvious. So, it was my turn to act. I pretended that my resolve was wavering. These people were dying on my watch. How could I ever guard anyone again? Put on quite the show for all of you. I even acted at the press conference, too. Still feel bad about that outburst. But it was important to showcase doubt. Max had what she wanted. Singe was completely in her pockets. Her brother wasn't able to outsmart her. And everyone was still in one place. It would be so easy for her to win. That's why I decided to meet up with her. It was all going according to plan. She actually suggested that we team up, so we could kill the rest together. But she didn't know I was recording. I got her to admit that she was the killer. But she thought she was just converting me. That was extremely smart. Actually, it's almost unbelievable. One part irks me about all of this. It implies that they were willingly sacrificing lives. I'm not proud of what we did either. It was either them or all of us. I'm sure you know that feeling as well. Either way, we worked with the police. The bomb going off was their signal. Instead of coming in, they set a perimeter. I did agree to work with Max. He believed that she had my allegiance. I had made use of the recording immediately. I gave it to both the media and the police. Maxine Armstrong is completely ruined. Receiving the recording was their signal. After that, they'd attack the building. But everyone except for her would be gone. This whole plan assumed a lot, of course. First, that she would use her weapons. And second, that she would confess to me. I know how she works, after all. I was certain it would unfold this way. That's why I made to them tactical signals. Trust me, she's not winning. If they didn't catch her, she's on the run. She'll lose control of the company as well. I picked the exact time to evacuate. She'd be caught up in saving her own life. There's no way she knows where we are. I believe that's what you call checkmate. This was crazy to say the least. But if anyone could do it, it was them. And the fact that we're here confirms it. The strategy involved was unfathomable to me. It's just an unlucky soul caught in the middle. I don't know what your role really is. In fact, I don't even know if Rayo does. But he'll be coming here shortly anyway. He has to take me to the Ark. Should I say, my new home. Perhaps he'll have some answers then. I suggest taking a walk around. Everyone is here except for Daz and Singe. They're resting in a separate bunker. I still thought it would be wise to do this. Max found one of the bunkers. She still wouldn't be able to win. But the first time, you're safe. I'd enjoy this evening with everybody. Your duty as saver may come soon as well. I nod and return to my feet. I was right. Things were coming to a close. I slowly walk towards the exit of the room. Before I can leave, Akron calls me. I turn back around and look at him. Wait. Can I keep you for one more minute? There's something that's been on my mind. I take a few steps back towards him. I'm all ears, asking what he wants to say. Well, it's about the Armstrong name. Why I ran away. Why I left it behind. It's more related than you may think. I press my back against the wall and listen. I guess he assumes there's no holding back. If he's about to leave for the Ark, he should talk. Let's see, where should I start? Armstrong was run by my parents. That is, till about 5 years ago. They were working on a new chemical weapon. It was too much to do on their own. They had to acquire investors, fast. The company pockets only went so deep, so they scoured the globe for partners. It didn't take long to get what they needed. They held a meeting for the investors, a chance to show off what they made, potentially to get more money too. But it wasn't so simple. Chemicals can be very volatile. I'm sure that you can guess what happened. The weapons went off by accident. Luckily, I was watching from outside. But I guess lucky is a relative term. I watched my parents die an agonizing death. They clawed at the glass, begging for help. There was nothing I could do. Max was beside me as well, shocked. Her older sister had her eyes covered. After this, the family was in disarray. Our older sister was thrust into leadership, but she wasn't trained. None of us were. The whole world had its eyes on us. Some important people died that day. We tried our best to cover it all up, but you can't cover up memories. These events affected families everywhere. We weren't the only ones who lost people. It took a while, but we recovered. Business was good, and we traveled lots. Eventually, we ended up in Africa. A dignitary wanted our service. Some local warlords had threatened him. So the Armstrong siblings went for a visit. He requested our latest weaponry. The chemical weapons were put on hold. So we had to bring some explosives. He was very nice to all of us. He gave us a tour of his massive estate. Then he wanted us to meet his son. It was more than ecstatic to meet him. It's always nice to make strong connections. But the room he took us to was empty. He started crying as he told us the truth. His son had moved to America a while back. He made a fortune investing in companies. One of those companies was Armstrong. He broke it down and kept asking us why. Why did we take his son away from him? Oh. Wow, that's... Wow. None of us knew what to say. Next thing I knew, we were passing out. It must have drugged the meal he gave us. I would have never guessed he had a past like this. He always seems so calm and collected. I asked him what happened next, especially how it relates to current events. Well, we were separated when we woke up. I was tied to a chair, and he was there. My older sister was tied to a chair too. She was in a room farther away. This is where it gets familiar. We both had bombs strapped to us. He left the room and told Max to choose. Would you save her brother or her sister? I begged her to let our sister live. She was the head of the company after all. I was nothing. It didn't matter. The man wanted us to experience his pain. Max told him that we already did. We lost our whole family in that incident. Unfortunately, he was too far gone. What he wanted was revenge. We were the only remaining Armstrongs. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? He used the same weapons we brought. We provided him with the means to do this. I begged and I pleaded for my death. It seemed like Max's choice was obvious, but for some reason she wouldn't do it. She let her older sister die. I still remember hearing the bomb. Remember the moment her life was ended. A man came in to free me. As soon as he did, I attacked him. I wanted to kill him. I really did. But he was armed, and he was stronger. That's how I got the scar on my face. That's a scar? That was just a facial marking. Really? That's a scar? Okay. He marked me with a knife so I'd remember. He was never heard from again after that. Max and I ran back to America. She promptly inherited the entire company. A little convenient, wouldn't you say? I think that's what she wanted all along. She took the opportunity to off our sister. That way, she'd get to run the company. Then, did she kill our parents too? Was she responsible for the accident? If she was, she finally got what she wanted. At that point, I decided to run away. But she told me one final thing. One day, you'll know what it felt like. She swore that she caved under pressure. It had nothing to do with inheritance. Her body just went on autopilot. I would never know for sure. At least, that's what I thought. I didn't see her again until this ordeal. And of course, what does she do? Sets up those bombs and makes me watch. I saw the look on your face. Look of fear and indecision. How could you choose between Keela and Rook? It'd be even harder if it were family. I think she wanted to send that message. She wanted me to see what it looked like. And it's not a pretty sight at all. But I did nothing to prove her innocence. She's not above killing to inherit. It's what she's doing now for the Ark. To that end, the message loses validity. I'm still left with the scar. I remember it every time I look at myself. My sister's death and Max's betrayal. I thought you deserved to know. There was a reason you had to choose. And it was only to prove a point to me. I'm sorry you had to experience that. Maxine Armstrong is insane. She killed to take over the company. She killed at a chance for the Ark. There's nothing she won't do. Now, I don't know why Singe agreed to help, but Armstrong is a heartless company. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a victim. But I'll give you one piece of advice. If you ever see her again, run away. Doing that made my life all the better. He crosses his arms as if he's done talking. I notice a slight glisten in his eyes. You don't need to give me a reaction. It's just something I want you to know. You can leave the room as you see fit. I nodded him, unsure of what to say, and satisfied that I'm learning so many things. I'm crushed of a sorrow he must have felt. One of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back my sister. She'll make this world a better place. And I'm very sorry for lying to you. I hope you can learn to forgive me. As I said, lack of honesty is my regret. This whole thing was a setup. I couldn't risk the operation. This time, I was forced to lie. I never would have done it otherwise. He smiles at me, with nothing else left to hide. Then he returns to his chair, ending the conversation. It's true. He could bring her back if he wanted. I assume he could do the same for all of the others. It would take a while to process all this information, but at least some of my biggest questions were answered. I leave the room with a sense of satisfaction. Finally! Okay. Alright, and that's the end. So, hopefully next time around we won't run into this issue of there not being that many save points, or rather that the save points themselves will be a lot closer together. Because if we have another incident of there being a huge gap between where there's saves, I may have to do this again, which would be annoying for everyone. I'm going to make sure I keep better track of time next time, so that if we do end up overrunning, at least I can make sure that the actual edits won't be so out of place. But until then, thank you for watching and see yous.